Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for attending first time ever Closet Scale Up webinar session. My name is Jessica Kim here, and we have Serena Ha, and we're both business development manager from Closet team. And we also have Damar Ribello from Clo 3D side as well. And we are very pleased to have you all here today. Today's Scale Up webinar consists of 3 parts, where first part, I will walk you through the Closet introduction, along with the Closet hierarchical system and permission system, depending on the client category, such as brand, manufacturer, and academic, respectively. And Serena will walk us through the Closet live demo. And lastly, we'll go through Q&A session and try to answer any questions received during the webinar session. So please share any questions via comment during our presentation, and we will collect the questions and answer them during our Q&A session. In addition, we will throw the random poll questions during our presentation and send out the survey after the presentation. And please participate, and we will select the 5 users and give out free 30 days Closet Advanced coupon. So let me introduce our Closet platform to all of you. Closet is a collaborative 3D creation workspace that maximizes the value of 3D assets by bridging the stages of the product lifecycle in one centralized digital space. The slide shows how we enable our users to maximize their 3D assets. As you can see from the slide, Closet platform offers various functionality where users can utilize their 3D assets in between the stages of the product lifecycle. What's important is that Closet provides these features with the foundation of collaboration and communication tool so that users can further develop their 3D assets with the expanded users in one centralized space. From the slide, I would like to walk you through Closet's key features, which can be utilized along these stages of the product lifecycle. Firstly, let's start with the concept building stage. I'm sure most of you are using Miro board or PowerPoints when building the concept board. After the completion of concept board, users can simply upload their PPT or JPG or PDF files to our Closet platform and start communicating with related teams by using the communication tools, by leaving the annotations, comments, tagging people, attaching the external documents. Aside from this, Closet is in the process of developing a feature called Lookbook, where users can directly drag and drop their 3D assets and create their own mood board within our Closet platform. What's amazing about Closet Lookbook feature is that Lookbook will be directly linked with the product details. Therefore, when there is update with the prototype or product details, users can easily update the related information by pressing the simple update button without having to update the information one by one manually. Next, let's move on to the product development stage. One of the biggest benefits of using Clo3D with Closet platform is that there is seamless integration between the 2 products by connecting the Clo3D account with Closet account. When creating the 3D assets from the Clo3D software, users can easily search the material components from Closet Library tab and simply drag and drop the selected material tab, simply drag and drop the selected material and start designing. Once first prototype has been created, users can directly upload the prototype to the Closet and communicate and collaborate with others to receive feedbacks using our communication tool. After receiving the feedback, users can go back to their Clo3D software and start revising their initial design, and simply re-upload their updated design using our version upload on top of their previous design. In this way, users can track all the version history from one single space. Once prototype has been completed, users can run the rendering from Closet. What's amazing is that closeout rendering is run through the shared rendering server, meaning that we do the rendering for you. Once the rendering has been completed, Closeout will send you the notification accordingly. During the line adoption phase, what users can utilize the most is a space called Assortment Room. Assortment Room is a perfect space to review and compare the multiple 3D designs in one single window. In fact, many of our clients are using Assortment Room as a main tool to present their 3D assets during the meetings. Also, we're going to release the feature called Range Board, where users can easily generate the range board depending on their needs, such as pricing map, rollout calendar, and so forth. Also, Closeout provides mix and match feature, where users can easily mix and match the tops and bottoms of their 3D assets, and the end result can be screenshotted and can be exported as a PNG file format for further usage. This year, Closeout released the 3D WebTech Pack, and within the 3D WebTech Pack, we provide BOM and POM tab, where we export the POM and BOM data, which has been input within the Clo3D file, and we auto-generate the report for you. Based on the auto-generate data, users can also edit the data, and all the edits are trackable via version history tab as well. In addition, all of the sub-features offers communication tool in order to communicate with the external users as well. Along with BOM and POM tab, Closeout WebTech Pack offers construction tab that displays auto-generated markers and allows construction annotation for all content types that have been preset in Clo3D. Closeout construction is integrated within all the materials, trims, and even swing methods of the 3D garments made in Clo3D. In addition to construction tab, there is a cost estimation tab, which helps users to estimate the cost of production based on the BOM data, and users can also add the additional cost for better accuracy. Next, we can move on to the assortment planning stage. Assortment planning is a stage where Closeout is putting enormous effort to come up with innovative feature. And we recently released the line sheet feature where users can input the detailed product information along with the 3D asset visibility. In addition, Closeout is in the process of developing the virtual showroom where users can easily display their 3D assets along with the 2D designs with the 3D background space. Users will be able to navigate through the virtual showroom that they've created and also be able to share the virtual showroom with external users as well. Lastly, Closeout offers Embed Viewer, where users can embed the 3D viewers to the designated website. Users are utilizing Embed Viewer within the eCom website on top of Photoshoot image for customer to better understand the details of the designs. Also, Closeout offers Fitting Viewer on top of the 3D viewer. Users can input their body size and customized avatar will be created accordingly and show the fitting simulation on top of the customized avatar. So we have done going through the key features of the Closeout platform. And the key benefits of using Closeout platform is that we can increase the productivity and ensure the data transparency and maximize the 3D asset leverage, and last but not least, help the environment at the end. Here, I would like to walk you through the key features that are on our roadmap. As previously mentioned, Closeout team has developed innovative features such as Range Plan, Range Board, which can be utilized during the assortment planning stages along with the virtual showroom. In addition, Closet will provide the data and trend analysis service so that our users can better understand the market and client to come up with better design and forecast. Lastly, Closet provides Connect Marketplace, where we want our users to further utilize their 3D assets in the metaverse. Any individuals or brands can showcase their 3D designs and even sell their assets to the external users within our Connect Marketplace. Now I'm done with showcasing our Closet service with everybody, and I'm excited to walk you through with the next agenda. Starting from here, I would like to introduce you all with the Closet hierarchical system. Closet hierarchical system is based on the fashion company's original organizational structure, but provides a flexibility to customize the structure based on the individual group's organization. Firstly, group is the highest level of all space and only one can exist. Upon Closet account creation, every individual users are given with one group. Below group, users can create space called company along with the company library. Company library is a cloud repository that helps brands to store, source, manage, and share the digital contents. Below company, users can create brands, and under the brand level, users can set the line and season respectively. Finally, under the season, users can create the space called workroom, where the contents are uploaded and practical work is performed. And under the workroom, users can create indefinite child workroom. From this slide, we have prepared group structure references depending on the client type, such as brand, manufacturer, and academics. Firstly, let's go over the group structure template for a brand's perspective. One of the important things to consider when building up the group structure for brand is to differentiate and secure the space for internals and externals respectively. Therefore, we've divided the company library with two separate spaces where one workroom is responsible for the internal sharing, whereas another workroom is shared with externals such as vendors and suppliers. And we utilize the workroom level to separate the space between the external users, and we've created a separate space for manufacturer and supplier accordingly to separate the level of communication and collaboration with the external users. Secondly, let's go over the group structure reference for the manufacturers. Depending on the business model type, we have two different group structure for OEM and ODM's case. For OEM's case, we created product category type under the line level and created season under them. Whereas for ODM's case, we created product line and created seasons under them. Again, we utilized the workroom level to separate the level of communication from the buyers and suppliers. Also, for company library, we made sure that the manufacturers have the separate space for each of the internal and suppliers. Last but not least, let's go over the group structure for academic perspective. For academic perspective, the main goal is for an instructor to review the submitted documents from the students within each of the courses. Therefore, we created the space for individual structure as the brand level and created line for each of the courses that individual structure is teaching. Under the line level, we created different project space in season level and created submission space for each of the individual projects for students to submit their 3D assets. Also, we created two different spaces within the company library where academic institutions can store the university assets and additional separate space to share the project assets that the instructor would like to share with within each of the project members. So let's move on to the closet hierarchical system. Closet offers 5 different permission types, which are admin, collaborator, editor, viewer, and group operator. Admin have every permission to create, edit, and delete the space and styles, and invite users to the space that they belong to. Admin can be assigned to the group level, company level, and brand level individually. And out of these admin types, group admin becomes the subject of payments according to the pricing plan for the entire members under the group. Collaborators have the same permission as a company admin or brand admin, but cannot create, modify, or delete the company or brand. Collaborator and admin can use the fitting conversion service. Editors have the permission to add, edit, share the workroom and assortment with other group members. Viewers can only view the workroom and styles, but cannot edit, delete, and share the workroom nor the style. Last but not least, Closet recently released new permission type, which is called group operators, which only have permission to access the group admin page only. Group operator is suitable for those who are in charge of payment or developers who needs access to the developers page. Out of the 5 permission type, viewers and group operators are counted as a non-paying users and exempt from the payment. Depending on the permission type, depending on the different permission type of the invitee, there are 2 different ways to invite and share the space and 3D assets with other users. Both inviting and sharing is conducted by inputting users' admin information and selecting the user permission type from the communication tab. And Serena will walk you through this function in live demo in later session. When inviting the users as the admin or collaborator permission, users need to accept the invitation via email in order to activate the permission. When sharing the workroom, assortment, or individual contents, there are 2 different ways to do it. First is the people share by inputting the account email from the communication tab. Second way is by sharing the link. In addition, link share function is deactivated as a default setting due to the security concerns. Therefore, users need to activate the function in order to publish the link with other external users. So from this slide, I would like to share the guideline and reference on how to assign each permission based on the group structure template I've shared with you earlier. But again, please keep in mind that this is just a guideline and everyone can customize the permission and group structure based on their workflow. So from the brand's perspective, group admin should be suitable to team leader who needs to have a overlook the data of the entire group. In addition, key here is to sign the internal users key here is to assign the internal user as the admin or collaborators, whereas assigning the external users such as vendors and manufacturers as the editor permission, so that the external users will only have access to the workroom level individually. From a manufacturer's perspective, we guide our users to sign under the workroom level as well for their individual workroom. Depending on the level of communication and collaboration with their brands, manufacturers can assign the brand level with editor and viewer. For academic clients, we advise to assign the brand admin with each of the course instructor and assign collaborator to the teaching assistant and assign the students with the editor permission. By setting students with the editor permission, student will only have access to the individual course space. So here I have completed the part 1 of our Closet Scale Up webinar, and I would like to hand over to Serena Ha, who's the business development manager from Closet team as well. So let's wait until she joins on this.
Okay, hello guys. My name is Serena Ha, and I'm sorry for waiting for a little moment because of some speaker issue. So I guess now we're good to go. So let me share my screen as well. Okay, so can you guys see my screen? Awesome. Thank you so much for introducing the entire closet service, Jessica. And from here on, I would like to show you exactly what it looks like in closet dashboard, and based on what Jessica just explained in the presentation. So you will be able to see how you can actually structurize the folder, and then how you can share the permission, etc. And since this is our very first Closet online webinar, today we will be more focusing on to introducing like the structure and asset management for the Closet service. But from here on, based on your feedback in the survey, we will plan to have a second, third webinar in next year. So as the first step, you should log in Closet. And once you log in, this is very first dashboard image that you can see. So in the first section of the dashboard, you can see the recent contents, and you can also see the favorite workrooms and all workrooms that you're invited into, as well as all brands and companies. And let's go to the left side. So this section is called shortcut menu. And then we have 3 different tabs. And first tab is called browse. So and here you could see many companies as well as the following brands, workrooms, and assortment rooms. And by using this, you will be able to find and navigate your content and space much more easily and quickly. Okay, then the second tab is called Workspace. And each section, you can see all these spaces which you have been invited. So for example, if you click this company tab, you can see all of the companies to which you have been invited. And similarly to the brand, you can see all the brands that you are invited to, and also the workroom as well. And it is very handy if you're looking for a certain space within the entire organizations. And we also provide these favorite features, which will have a seamless connection with Claude 3D for the 3D creation. And I will explain more in detail with the best workflow later on about this. And here is the assortment room sections where you can review the multiple items in one page. And this is the space that you can create it with the workroom level. And the next one is rendering section. So you can see all the rendering requests that you processed already. And not only you can see the condition of the rendering that you completed, but also you can re-download the rendering results. And favorite is something I was just mentioning about in the workroom. And here you can see the favorite workrooms and also the contents. So whenever you marked the stars in each workrooms and contents, you can see all of them in this page. And in the workspace tab, the last part is content. So here you'll be able to see the entire contents that you're working on. And it shows the recent content that you're working on and the entire contents within the group. Also, you can see only the content that you made or upload and the contents that are shared with you. So far, this was the Browse in Workspace tabs in shortcut menu. And from now on, we will get into the hierarchical structure one by one. So here is the Closet webinar company level. And once you get into the company level, you can see the brand folders as well as the company library. You can also change the size of screen if there are a lot of folders in the screen by clicking this bar. And in company level, you can share permissions, which are either admin or collaborator. As we just explained previously in the presentation, in the company and brand level, you can share the invitations, and the person who received the invitation needs to accept to activate the access to the space. So here is what you can do. So in this section, you can simply write down your closet, the person's closet email address. Then you can decide whether you want to provide admin or collaborator. And once you click the invite button, you can see the person is on the pending status in the collaborator section. And the person who is invited can go check their email and click this accept button. And as soon as the person clicks this button and log in, the access will be activated. So now you can see, go to the company, and now you can see there is no longer pending status on the collaborator section. And one more thing, since this person is invited into the demo group, you can see under the demo group here, there is no crown icon. It's because the person is not the admin of the group. Meaning that if you're a group admin of the following group, you can see the crown icon below the icon. Lastly, you can also see the person is successfully invited as a company collaborator in this Accessible People tab. Okay, so let's go back to the original account. Like I mentioned, this account is a group admin of this group. So you can see the crown icon under the D alphabet. Then we'll go to the company level. And again, same as before, you can see this person is successfully invited as a company collaborator. Okay, so this was so far about the company level. And the next step is to create the brand. So if you're an admin of each space, you can create or delete subfolders for that level. And in this company level, you can create a brand folder. What you can do is you can simply type the name of the brand, and you can change the color of the icon to distinguish to each folders. And if you have any specific logo or icon, you can also apply the image inside of the folder. And when you click confirm, then here we go. Now we have a brand C folder. And the next one is company setting. So as you know that each company has different process, category, and information. So in order to manage such information, Closeup provide this page. The first page is general. So in here, you can change the name of the company. Also, you can turn on and off the company library, line, and accessible people. This can be completely customized based on your actual organization. And if there is any situation that you have to change the person for the admin role, you can utilize this feature called company transfer by changing the owner of the company. And once you apply, the entire assets and structure will be transferred to the new group without re-uploading and downloading. And below here is to manage the following brands and workrooms. You not only can change the name of the image, but also can delete the entire space as well. So all these actions are possible in each space, but if you're a group admin or a company admin, it will be much easier to handle the entire information in one page. Okay, then the second tab is category. So this is the same story as the general information of the company. So since each company has a distinct product categories, you can completely customize each depth. It's very easy to create. So as long as you type the category here and press enter, then it will directly let you input the second depth. And that is until 4 depth available. And later on, you can utilize this you can search based on this category in the workroom. And the next one is workflow. And this could be very insightful to see the progress, especially if you're working with multiple external stakeholders, such as vendors, agents, manufacturers, etc. Based on this workflow, you can see which space has better performance and current status as well. And creating the workflow would be the same as category. You can just type in and enter. Then you can create another one like this. The last part is trash. So a lot of users may not know this tab, but in this trash tab, no matter what contents that you deleted, will be stored here for 30 days. So please note that if any contents you wish to recover, it has to be happened within 30 days. Okay, this was so far about the company settings. And from now on, I like to introduce the most important aspect of this webinar, which I like to highlight, the company library. So more brands are looking for to centralize their asset in one place. However, the majority of the current asset management channels do not support the 3D environments. This company library could be a great place to centralize a variety of assets to share with internal and external stakeholders. The company library has same structure as workroom, but it is located in the company level so that you don't have to go all the way to the workroom level to find the relevant items to create a 3D design. So as a reference, I made these two different channels called vendor standard and internal standard. Since each space will have a separate asset to be shared, you can divide the permission to each space. So company library is same as workroom. So this has different invitation process compared to the company level and the brand level. So as long as you you type the email and decide which permission you would like to provide and press the share buttons, the person will have a direct access to the space without accepting any invitation. So in the company library, you can also create a multiple child workrooms under each level. So if you click this folder, you can see multiple another workrooms along with the actual contents. So if you would like to share just this space, you can also share permissions from here so that the person cannot see the higher level. Another great thing about using Closet is an asset management tool is a compatibility. So let me click this block pattern folder. And as you can see, you can store all different kinds of file formats, such as like ZPAC, GLB, FBX, DXF, and FBX, like etc. And over time, Closet is expanding the compatibility for other file formats so that you can have better 3D environments for more assets. And here is the current file formats that can be supported in Closet. So please check this table out. And if you have any additional file format that you wish to check, please let us know after the webinar. And another thing is that even if the file is currently not supported in Closet, if they are supported in Clo3D, by using this favorite feature, you can directly check the preview of it in Clo3D. So for example, this SPSR file format is not supported in Closet, but when you favorite the item and directly connect to the Clo3D, you can see the preview image of the file without downloading and uploading. So from here on, you can simply drag and drop the file and start the design. Okay, so this was about the company level. So from now on, let's get into the brand level. So in the brand level, you can start managing the line, and from line, you can create a collection and workroom level. So I made a woman line and men line. And if you click the line, you can see the collections. And if you click the collections, you can see the multiple workrooms that you would like to work on. So this could be in-house design team or sourcing offices or manufacturers. You can manage those workrooms with internal people, but also with the external people. However, the entire structure that I was just showing is one of many references. So depending on your organization, this structure could be totally different. So as you can see, I'm showing two different examples of the structure. Since I turn on the line level in the left side, you can see there is an additional level compared to the right side. And the following steps are also completely customizable. In conclusion, it's all depending on how your company is working, and Closet is just providing the flexible structures for it. So that was another example that I wanted to show you. So let's go back to the workroom. So inside of the workroom, I created another child workrooms. So you can favorite the workroom itself, and once you get into another workroom, you can see the actual contents here. And inside of the workroom level, you can share either can edit permission or can view permission, which are the same permission system that I showed you in the company library. And especially if you're working with a lot of external members, such as vendors or manufacturers, you might want to give them a free permission. In this case, you can provide a viewer permission, which is a free of charge with an optional accesses so that you can decide which person are allowed to download or upload the contents. And in order to distinguish who is available or not, you can simply see the icon in green. So here, as soon as I share, you can see Jessica is available to download and upload. Okay, so how do you like so far about the live demo? Was it helpful? To give you a bit clearer understanding of using Closet, I would like to show a short workflow based on one of our actual user cases. So from here, I will demonstrate how brand and vendor are using Closet in the beginning of their workflow and how they're using Closet as an asset management tool. Okay, let's begin. Once the initial concept, like concept design, financial planning, making placeholders are all completed, the next step is to fill out those spaces by creating a mood board with a bunch of inspirational images. And since Closet is compatible with various file formats, you can start the design development process by uploading the mood board file, which could be PNG or JPG. And when you click it, the content page will pop up. And in the content page, you can literally start communicating on those PNG files or JPG file by making this type of annotations and comments. Also by tagging each other to communicate more directly here. Then once the person checks this annotation and comment via their email, the next step will be going to the company library to gather those components for their design. In company library, you can see the block patterns in multiple fabrics, in trims, in 3D viewers. So designer can easily find the items with those preview and favorite them in Closet. And once all the components that you need to use for design creation is ready, you can see all the entire favorite contents in the favorite sections. And this will automatically connect into Clothes 3D as long as you connected your Closet account. And without uploading or downloading the items, you can directly see the preview of them and simply drag and drop it. And vice versa, once the design is ready, in order to share this content, you can simply click this button to share not only the project, but also the tech pack or render via Closet directly. And since we already had an initial content, which is the mood board, you can version upload those items on top of it. So from here on, you will be able to manage the entire history and process of this product from start to the end. And once the comment is left and everything is ready, as I explained, you can manage the process by using this workflow. This was so far the first part of the best workflow that I wanted to show you. And as a last part, I would like to share how to utilize the admin console section in order to manage those assets and those permissions. So actual users will be able to provide the access and provide the invitation in each space. But when it comes to the group admin or the person who needs to manage the entire group, the people can actually utilize this admin console to see the entire current status of the permissions and the activity. So in this section, only group admin and group operator will have an access. So when you click the icon in the shortcut menu, the first page you can see is Summary. So in summary section, in the first section, you can see which payment plan that you're on. And here, currently, this group is under the free plan trial. And under this section, you'll be able to see the company list. And if you click the button next to it, it will take you to the company setting where you saw in the company level. And most importantly, you can see the total number of paying users here. And here, basically, Closeup provides two different types of user. The first is permission type, and second is user type. As Jessica just mentioned, based on which permission you can be considered as paying users, or you can be considered as non-paying users. So in this section, only the total number of paying users will be appeared, meaning that the viewer permission will not count it under here. So whenever your group would like to subscribe the advanced plan, you can check the final pricing page here. Then you can see the total 5 paying users are calculated under the final payment plan. And if the number of these paying users are not correct, or if you want to check who are the actual paying users right now, you can either click this button right away or click the permission by user in admin console section so that you can see the entire permission list of the entire users. So you can simply filter and search the person in this following spaces. And if you would like to remove the entire permission, you can simply click the delete button over here so that you can manage the entire paying users under your group. Going back to summary, you can see under the user, you can see the activity of the users here, and you can see the remaining rendering usage in this section. So currently, Closeup operates a separate rendering server, as Jessica mentioned, and under the advanced plan, we provide 3 gigabytes of rendering usage per one paying user per month in order you to work simultaneously with other tasks. So depending on how many paying users are under your group, you can see the sum of rendering usage in this section. And our last part is the user activity. So you can see which person is working on which features the most. And this will give you a lot of insights about the current progress under your company, especially if you're working with a lot of different external members as well. This was so far about the live demo and also the best workflow that I wanted to show you. And I thank you so much for listening our part 2. And I hope this live demo could provide a great insight to start using Closeup. And as our last part today, we will answer some of your questions if there is any. So, okay, then. Okay. Please let us know and leave the chat if you have any questions. I will, as a last session, I will invite Jessica again back to the stage. Okay, the last Closeup. Can't upload 1 gigabyte file size. So currently the maximum file size for one item is until the 500 megabytes. So if the files is over 500 megabytes, it's not available to upload. But if you would like to upload the multiple items at the same time, and if the total usage is over 1 gigabyte, that's totally possible. Can you show which statistics they are? So the statistics that I showed you in the last part is about under the current group that you're working on. So it has a multiple different categories, such as like a different buttons and the upload buttons, etc. So you can check the admin console in the user history and user activity, then you'll be able to see the statistics file data. How can I search in all closet content, not in a specific workroom or brand? So this is depending on what kind of content that you're looking for. So for example, if you're looking for the content, let me share my screen again. So in each section, if you go to the contents, there are some of the options that you can actually search for. So in the contents, you can search by ID, tag, creator in here. And if you're looking for the workrooms, you can search for workrooms here. So in each section, you can find the contents. And if you're looking for the contents out of the entire contents, you can go this section and search for all of it. And could you show me how to see different sizes in one presentation or room? I don't know if you mean by the size of the screen, but it's since this is like the same as web browser, you can simply manage the size by clicking the command and plus, or if you need a larger screen, you can also manage by clicking those bars. And how can we connect the company fabric library to Clo? So anything about integrations, we are currently providing a Closet Open API. So in this admin console section, you can see this developer page. And you can go to tutorial, and then we're providing multiple different kinds of open APIs. So if you wish to find any integration within your own library or within your own system, please refer to this manual. And also, if you wish to have a separate integration with your legacy system, such as a PLM or like a DAM, etc., we do also have a separate plugin service called Closet Connector. So that's something that we can separately have a discussion with you guys, then explain more about it. About the denim. Yeah, thank you for the feedback. And this is something that we have been getting feedback so far. So we are actually internally to figure it out how to increase the maximum size of the file. So please let us know if any of you also have these struggles about the maximum size of the file as well. Close it, but when I delete the person, are the deleted for all the workrooms. So even if you delete the person, all the data that person remained in that worked in the group will be still remaining in the group. So even if you delete the person, the data will not be deleted.
But if a user is added in multiple workroom, you would have to remove the user within individual workroom space in order to be exempt from the payment for that specific users.
Yes. Sharing with suppliers in other planning control data. Is there any control solution? So currently, about the current control solutions, currently the biggest theme and purpose for the closet permission system is to have a instinct, direct communication with others. So far, we think that once we have a control solutions, it will be very complicated and it will lack the process in time. So that's why we have a multiple different permissions based on the role and responsibility. But if you have any specific request about the control from other permissions, please let us know so that we can actually evaluate it and see what we can do. How do you upload files into Closet? And can you sort assets by type? How do you upload files into Closet without using Clothes 3D? So this is also to upload any file. You can just simply go to the workroom. Let me show you here. You can simply go to the workroom. Okay. And by clicking this button, you can upload either a single file or multiple files at the same time, or blank contents and turntable images. So this is how you can directly upload the files in Closet. But at the same time, if you have a lot of files that need to be created or uploaded in Closet, you can also utilize some of the open APIs that we are providing that is connected to the workroom, so that you can automatically upload some of the cloud file that you already have in your company. So that is also possible as well. And can you sort assets by type? So far in the workroom, we are actually planning to display the contents by the type. So as you can see, in the end of each file, you can see all the file format. So for example, for the FBX file, we will be distinguished as a fabric. For the ZPEG file, we will distinguish those files as a 3D project file, etc. So that is something that we are actually working on and will be actually applied very soon. Then once that is applied, you will be able to see not just the all mind shared, but also the different types of contents based on the format. And if there is several companies, can this access?
At this moment, we do not have a function to sign the group permission for the multiple users at once, but we actually have been receiving the same feedback from other clients. So we'll also share that feedback with our internal users, and we'll share you any updates if there's any progress with it. But thank you so much for sharing your feedback with us.
And the statistics exported as a different formats out of the Closet, and yes, that's definitely on our roadmap, and not just the statistics that you can see right now. We are planning to have a trend analysis data as well. So in next year, that's our actually goal, to launch those features in next year. So you will be able to see the trend analysis data under your group as well. And of course, once that is ready, you'll be able to also export those items as different file format. Thank you so much for joining, Lombo. And we are a group of several friends. We have a problem to make closeout payment, as we need to include multiple credit cards, one credit card per group. And is there a solution for this? So far about the payment system, it's everything is under the group. So if you actually would like to separate the payments with different system, we recommend you to have a separate group for that. But if you are actually looking for other solutions, please reach out to us, and we can find the solutions for your group as well. Okay, and while we are waiting for the additional questions, please do not forget to participate in the polls. And after this session, we will be sending out the handout, the presentation that we shared today, and also the recording version, and also the survey. And anyone who can participate the survey, we will be selecting 5 people in total and then provided 30 days of free trial. So please let us know how you like this webinar so that we can prepare the better version next year. And currently the handout is uploading right now. So in shortly, you will be able to download it.
It's actually uploaded. Download.
Oh, good. Oh, okay. You
Yeah.
guys are downloading.
Mhm.
Yes. Thank you so much for attending today.
Yes, thank you, everybody. And we're actually looking forward to run multiple webinar session in the upcoming
Yes.
year. And so that's why we need a lot of feedback from you guys. And it was such a pleasure meeting all of you and, directly communicate with you within the webinar session. And we'll see you guys soon next year, and hope you guys
Yes.
have a great rest of the year.
Thank you so much, guys.
Should we say goodbye?